Kia ora, and welcome to my homepage for my ASD specialist paper for this year. I was happy when I was given a chance to study this course, a program which I wanted to. Prior to learning through this course, I had limited knowledge about theories, issues, and interventions that underpin autism spectrum disorder. As a mainstream teacher, I mainly taught students who were typically growing until 1 year when I had a student with autism in my class who brought in a new direction in my teaching life. His stay with me for a year inspired me to study this course and advance into specialist teaching. With my expertise from the normal classroom teaching, I took this course as it will prepare me by expanding my knowledge and widen my scope of teaching students with ASD. This portfolio showcases the artifacts and reflections that contributed to my professional identity as a special education teacher specializing in autism spectrum disorder. Domain 1 forms the foundation of this unit. It is in this section that we learn about the history, core characteristics, and theoretical perspectives about ASD. By engaging in an all by engaging in all the activities and discussions in this domain, I was able to learn to be responsive to the child's educational and cultural needs. Through the goals and competencies, I learned to value the challenging situations faced by parents, which would mean more financial and emotional stress as well. Moreover, I was able to realize how different theoretical perspectives influence the professionals in deciding their contribution towards the welfare of the child with ASD. An important aspect that stood out was the collaboration in a multidisciplinary team. Through my goals and artifacts, I was able to enable myself as a collaborative and reflective practitioner and also appreciate the cultural values and ethos of the finals. Domain 2 journeyed me into the concepts and issues of assessment and diagnosis. In this section, my goal was to learn how the assessment and the diagnosis process affects the child with ASD and his family and whānau, and what we as educational practitioners can do to help them out. My goals and artifacts helped me to realize the importance of keeping a close link between assessment and interventions so that a more constructive and culturally responsive educational assessment can be carried out. Furthermore, my particular interest was to learn how we can be more effectively involved in planning out for Maori and Pacifica families, as most of the students in my school I teach are of this descent. This domain helped me to value and realize that working with families who are culturally diverse requires not only objectivity but also a willingness to examine myths and stereotypes, as they may not share expectations about teaching, learning, and parenting. Domain 3 took me deeper into the journey to discover various interventions that may be applicable to the needs of the child with ASD. One important thing that I learned was that all children with ASD are unique and there is no one intervention that is universal in its application in educating all children with ASD. Moreover, I have also learned that the first step in building a program for learners with ASD is through assessment of learner skills, assessment of the requirements of the school, home or community environment, and use of information to establish learning objectives. The artifacts and goals in this domain enable me to attain competencies by widening my scope of selecting interventions which are evidence-based and culturally responsive. In Domain 4, I journeyed through learning how to select intervention based on the needs and strengths of the child. Through the various artifacts and goals, I was able to upskill myself in order to provide the best for the child in my care and the families and farmers better. Moreover, I was also able to learn that parents are experts of the child. Therefore, we may need to develop on the interventions parents are carrying out at home, which are working well with the child, thus developing a sense of trust and respect for all members involved with the child. The readings and activities also enable me to know the importance of person-centered planning and providing a systematic and goal-directed teaching that address the pivotal areas and complements the curriculum components as well. Domain 5 gifted me with a wealth of knowledge on the theme of understanding the child's behavior. Through a variety of artifacts in this domain, I was able to meet my goals and competencies. Some of the important concepts and issues I learned were motivation and providing positive behavior support through functional behavior assessment. Motivation is a key factor, and I have learned that we can eliminate problem behavior if we are skillful in implementing strategies that will either intrinsically or extrinsically motivate the child. Moreover, I have also learned that educational intervention should incorporate principles of positive behavior support, particularly focusing on the understanding of the function of the child's behavior. I also learned on how we can promote good behavior through peer-mediated intervention and the importance of being familiar with the school's crisis management plan should I encounter one in my class. This domain really helped me to become a stable and resourceful teacher by being diplomatic in managing behavior of the students in my care. Domain 6 brought me knowledge on how we prepare our students for transition and post-school settings. The artifacts in this domain enable me to attain my goals and competencies. Moreover, I was also able to learn about the support services available for young adults with ASD in New Zealand and how, as teachers, we can act as a medium to bring awareness of such agencies to them and their families and whānau. The readings and activities in this domain also help me to broaden my knowledge on the justice services available for the people with ASD and how as teachers we can implement educational interventions early that will ensure that the obsessional interests, social deficits and communication problems of childhood do not become entrenched behaviors that expose the person to risk of victimization or criminally offending. Finally, this course has transformed me as a specialist teacher in ASD who is more informed and proactive in his approach to students. Parents and whānau highly regard the value of teamwork. This course has taught me to be competent and effective reflective practitioner and be able to put the needs of the students first and implement educational strategies that are continuously sensitive in, and promotes life learning skills. The goals and complementing competencies planned has been met in various domains, and with this knowledge, I am prepared to advance to other courses associated with this unit, which will nurture me further into the specialist vocation.